I'm here today to talk to you about why the calories in, calories out way of eating does not work and why it's time to let it go. We have long been told that we gain weight because we eat too much and we don't move enough. That's the old calories in, calories out model that I'm speaking of. If we don't put too much thought into that theory, it does seem to make a lot of sense. Whatever we eat, we have to burn off, or we're going to gain weight, right? If you take a look around though, you'll see that this is a failed theory in action, and it hasn't worked. Most women and many men have been doing the calorie counting for years, and they're no better for it. So what is the problem? That's what I'm going to dig into today, why this seemingly sensical way of eating has let us down. Hi there and welcome to my channel. I'm Ginger, a holistic nutrition coach, and I post videos on how to improve metabolic health and balance blood sugar using a whole food, nutrient-dense, high-fat way of eating. If you like my video, hit subscribe, like, and feel free to share. So there are a few things that we have all come to believe are true in the calories in, calories out way of eating. First, we believe that the calories that we eat are independent of the calories that we burn. This is a big mistake though, as they are completely dependent on each other. When we eat fewer calories, it triggers the body to reduce the number of calories that we burn. If we reduce our calorie intake by 25%, we reduce our output by 25%. And this means we minimize our weight loss. Another thing that we've come to accept as fact is that our basal metabolic rate, or the number of calories we need to keep our body functioning, remains stable, except when we exercise. I'm going to dig into this one deeper in a minute. This is absolutely not true. Our energy output can vary by as much as 50% depending on how many calories that we consume, as well as other factors. Another belief that we have is that eating is entirely in our control. The fact is, though, we're driven to eat or to stop eating by our hormones. Think about walking past a restaurant at lunchtime and getting a whiff of something delicious. You're instantly hungry, right? Well, what if you were to walk past that same restaurant after eating a big meal? That exact same smell is just as likely to repulse you, and that's your hormones. For some reason, we've also been under the belief that fat storage is unregulated, that we eat too many calories and our body simply stores those extra calories as fat, causing us to gain weight. This misses the important tight hormonal regulation system our body has in place. There are more and more hormonal pathways that regulate fat storage being discovered all the time. The most well-known fat growth hormone is probably leptin, which helps regulate our appetite. But there are many others that come into play. What this means is, if hormones regulate fat growth, weight gain is hormonal, and it's not simply a caloric issue. Here's the belief that I think has the strongest hold and is the most insidious, and that is that a calorie is simply a calorie. This is what got us to this strong belief in the calories in, calories out way of eating and exercising. But I think we can all admit and agree that a 100-calorie pack of Oreos is not metabolically the same as, say, 100 calories of an avocado. Those Oreos that are packed full of sugar are going to very quickly break down in the body, raise our blood sugar, and cause a rush of insulin. Whereas the avocado, it's going to quickly be absorbed by the small intestines, move to the liver, and will have very little impact on our blood sugar or our insulin. Metabolically, these two foods are very different and cause a very different hormonal response in the body. So if the calories in, calories out way is wrong, which has been proven by the rate of obesity in this country, and the inability to lose weight no matter how tightly we stick to it, let's dig a little deeper as to how our body actually uses calories and how we can use it to our advantage. All food contains calories, which is essentially a unit of energy. When we eat protein, it's broken down into amino acids, which are building blocks that repair the body's tissues, and any excess will be stored. Fat is absorbed directly into the body for use as energy, and carbohydrates are broken down into their building blocks, which is sugar. All three provide caloric energy for the body, but they are very different in how they're processed metabolically, and the difference results in a different hormonal response. Our body is complex and changing from day to day based on circumstances and our environment. In the calories in, calories out way of thinking, we assume the way our body uses calories out is always the same. If that were true, calories in, calories out would work. Let's take a look at a few of the ways our body uses energy, or calories, that we give it. It can use it to detoxify the liver and the kidneys, to heat our body, to create new proteins, to build new bone or new muscle. It will use them to power our brain, fuel us during exercise. It increases our heart rate, helps us breathe, produces fat, and keeps our heart beating. So when we make the assumption that our body gaining and losing fat is basically unregulated and is simply a balance of how many calories we eat and how many we burn during exercise, we're not only missing a big piece of the puzzle, but we're setting ourselves up for disappointment, frustration, and long-term weight gain. Here is a simple analogy I've heard that has always resonated with me. Let's say your salary is $100,000 per year and your expenses are also $100,000 per year. If you changed jobs and the new job reduced your income to $50,000 per year, would you continue to spend $100,000? Of course not. You'd go bankrupt. You'd adjust your living expenses down to your new income. Money coming in and money going out are completely dependent on each other, as one causes an adjustment to the other. If we think about calories in this model, reducing the number of calories we eat only works for weight loss if the calories that are going out stays the same. But that's not what happens. When we suddenly cut the number of calories that we're eating, our body adjusts to meet the new energy budget. This means our metabolism slows down to meet the new calorie intake. When we lower our metabolism by cutting our energy source, calories, our body starts strategically adjusting other functions in order to match the new energy level. One of the first things I noticed when I cut my calories is I was cold all the time. This is because the body slows down on heat production. Another thing that can happen is our heart rate will slow down. Less energy means a slower pump. Our brain also doesn't function as well with fewer calories. We may start to notice we can't concentrate, our brain feels foggy, we might even feel lethargic. Our brain is metabolically very active, so fewer calories means less brain power. We can also start to lose our hair, our nails become weak and brittle. Fewer calories means that these aren't going to be properly replaced. Our body is brilliant in the way it behaves. Its number one priority is to keep us alive, and the way it does this when we lower our energy intake by eating fewer calories is to immediately reduce the calorie bank to the new intake that brings us back to balance. But this comes at a cost, such as the symptoms I just mentioned. All of this leaves you feeling terrible, but you are alive. Here's another issue with the reduced calorie method of weight loss: hunger. Remember, eating is not entirely in our control. It's a hormonal function. So beyond our metabolism slowing down when we cut calories, our hormones also adjust and start signaling hunger. Our body wants us to regain any lost weight, and the way it does that is to increase our hunger signals. When we lose weight, our body increases production of a hormone called ghrelin, and ghrelin's job is to create hunger. Another hormonal change that happens is to our satiety hormones, the ones that make us feel full. When we reduce our calories, the level of these hormones goes down. This means we feel less full. So with an increase in hunger and a decrease in fullness, our desire to eat is higher than ever. When we lose weight by cutting our calories, we lower the function of our metabolism and we increase our hunger. It is not the other way around. When we eat too much, it is because our hormones are compelling us to do so. If we look around at the health of a large majority of our population, and if we think about our own personal experiences with the calories in, calories out way of eating, we can see that this method is a proven failure. Yet the government, our doctors, many weight loss blogs, posts, podcasts, they're still recommending that we follow this model. This is cruel. It's discouraging and it's not helping anyone. It has driven an epidemic of obesity and poor metabolic health. It's time to let go of this belief and try something different. It's time to work with the science of how our body actually works, specifically how our hormones work. The bottom line is we need to eat in a way that causes our hormones to work for us, not against us. We want to eat a diet that will energize and power our metabolism and not slow it down and hinder it from its important work. So I'm going to wrap this up by sharing some tips that will not only help reverse the damage done by restricting calories, but will also assist in weight loss if that is a goal for you. First, insulin is most known for lowering blood glucose, but it is also the fat storage hormone. So eating in a way that minimizes the release of insulin will stop weight gain. It is also the best way to encourage weight loss. The best way to reduce insulin is to limit blood sugar spikes, and that means reducing your carbohydrates. The worst offenders are sugar and highly processed foods, so just get those out of your diet. Next, you want to increase your consumption of healthy fat and protein. These have the least impact on your blood sugar and insulin. You don't need to cut out carbs altogether, but focus on getting the majority of them from leafy green veggies. Second, you want to start rebalancing your hormones and get those hunger signals working for you. And to do this, you want to give your body its preferred fuel source. That's going to mean eating plenty of fat and protein. These two macronutrients are highly satiating, meaning they will keep you fuller longer. And over time, ghrelin, the hunger hormone, will reset and not ping you all day long. And leptin, the hormone that lets you know you're full, will start working as well, and that means that overeating will be a lot less appealing. This third one ties the last two together, and it's probably the hardest for most of us that have been die-hard, low-fat, calories in, calories out believers to wrap our head around. And that is you have to eat plenty of food to properly nourish yourself. As you try and wrap your mind around this, go back and remember weight gain happens because we cut calories and slow our metabolism. And the reason you're unable to lose that weight once you've gained it has nothing to do with your willpower. So you have to eat plenty of food to fuel your body, but it has to be the right food. The right food will signal the right hormones to do the right things with the energy you're providing. Your body is smart and it desperately wants you to be healthy, and it will reward you once you start giving it its preferred fuel. And once again, that's going to be healthy, whole food sources. So get rid of the sugar and processed food, limit the starchy veggies, and focus on all the delicious nutrient-dense fat and protein, and enjoy it in abundance. My favorite way to achieve all of this is with a ketogenic diet. The keto diet focuses on eating plenty of healthy fats, moderate amounts of protein, and keeps the carbs ultra low. If you want to give keto a try and would like some guidance, get on my wait list for my 6-week group class called Keto Clear. If you're on the list, you'll be the first to know the next time it's available. I'll link below to that wait list. If you're ready to start playing around with it on your own, or you've tried it and struggled, I have a free ebook you can download with a list of do's and don'ts for a successful keto diet. That's linked below as well. I hope you're feeling encouraged and empowered to go out and try something new. Thank you again, and I will see you next time.